What is going on, everybody? This is Mike Hughes, and you are listening to Bullsheet, brought to you by the All Sports All Plays Network. You are sitting here joined by Rob Scott of Rob's 2 Cents. Obviously, I'm Mike Hughes from Mike on the Mic. Rob, baby, it's been a minute. It's been 10 days since our
I
last
know.
episode. How you
I
feeling?
know. Hey, I'm good. How you feeling, man? A
I'm all
soldier
right. The
recovering
Hughes,
from COVID, man.
the Hughes house was hit with COVID. I'm all right. I'm chilling. I was just like I had headaches all week. I don't think I had it, but I don't know. I felt like crap. But I do have Achilles tendonitis. I'll tell you that, and that is
Uh,
something right now. I'm in my Mamba mentality. Ready to hit PT. I'm super excited about it. Just getting back to where we were. Hopefully I can get back in the gym as soon as possible. My guy Kevin Lapka, we're going to be doing PT together. He's got a torn labrum he's dealing with. The white boys are messed up right now. The white boys of the Shy are messed up. We're banged up. It's not looking great. But Rob, how about them Bulls, baby? How we feeling right now?
uh, I don't know. I'm up and down. I'm up and down. I've seen some positive stuff, but I've seen a lot of stuff we got to work on. Seen some people we might need to rotate, but we're gonna get into all that.
We're going to get into all that and more. Before we do, really quickly, want to get into it from a word from our sponsor. As always, Bench Mob Chicago, they do amazing things for the city of Chicago and the Chicago Bulls with one of the best fan pages you will find out there. They do amazing things like Bench Mobber of the Night, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, soon to be Patrick Williams. Who knows? So many questions. Bench Mob Chicago can answer all of them. You can go to Bench Mob Chicago on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, etc., or on their website at benchmob.com and get amazing merch that you could see Rob Scott and I wear damn near every other episode. I think we're lacking tonight, Rob. I'm not lying. I think both of us are caught lacking. We don't got our merch, but that's okay. We're always rocking with Bench Mob Chicago, and we appreciate
Always.
Bench Mob Chicago rocking with us. Another word from our sponsor, we have Mo's Professional Plumbing Services. I mean, Mo is a good friend of mine. We've been best friends since I was a little kid, and the man is putting in a lot of work. Mo's Professional Plumbing Services, serving all plumbing needs, including repairs and installation of drains, sewer, water, gas, water heaters, ejector, and some pumps. Pardon me. All fixtures where we treat your home like our very own. Services Chicago, all surrounding the Chicago suburbs and Chicago area. My guy Mo will hook you up. Definitely check him out. I mean, he's one of the best to do it. So, Rob, with that being said, getting right into it, let's talk about it. The Chicago Bulls, the last time me and you spoke, they had Kyrie Irving and they had Steve Nash. I think we were live when Steve Nash actually got fired, which was an insane turn of events. Or sorry, let me make a correction. Parted ways. But with that being said, the Chicago Bulls whoop the New York Nets or the Brooklyn Nets, pardon me, the Brooklyn Nets 108-99 in Brooklyn without Ben Simmons playing in this game. Obviously, it was a big factor that went into it. It was kind of in the middle of every scandal thing that was going on with Kyrie Irving right now. With however you feel about it, the comments that he made, leading to his suspension. Rob, for you, Bulls beat the Nets. How big was that?
That was a big win. That was a game that I said that the Bulls should win. Just based off the problems that the Nets have been having with the fiasco going on with the Kyrie situation. And I think this was right before, or this was like right when it happened. So they hadn't passed judgment yet on Kyrie, but it was about to get bad for him. So with all that stress going on, with all the distractions going on, I'm like the Bulls should win. And other than that, the Nets are really nothing without Kyrie and KD. So
Without a doubt.
I if the Bulls would have lost that, I would have had a huge problem with that.
Oh, we would have raised hell. It would have been so bad. But going into this game, the Bulls were 4-4. The Nets were 2-6 after this game. I mean, 2-6 to start the season. I'm not sure where they're at right now. Sure, it's not getting any better. But looking at it for
Oh,
what it is.
I can tell you where they're
Oh,
at
you
right
can
now.
tell me. I can
Oh,
see.
I can tell you. Nets are in 10th place right now. They are 5-7 in the league.
I want to talk shit, but we're honestly not that far off.
We're only one game
Yeah,
above them.
well, I ain't gonna say too much. I ain't gonna say too
But
much.
it's
But in
still
this
early,
game,
it's still early in the season, and trust me, I'd rather have the Bulls problems right now than the Nets.
oh, without a shadow of a doubt, especially with the Kyrie situation going on, you have no idea how KD feels about the whole thing. Ben Simmons, we know how he feels. He's chilling, like he don't care. That's just how
Yeah,
Ben is.
Ben is
Um,
chilling right now. He got a check. He all right.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. You saw how fresh he looked on court side. I will say that my guy Gio, I went to middle school with, was actually in Brooklyn for the game. He was like, I saw this guy looking super fresh, super clean, sitting court side. I was like, damn, who is that? And he looked and he goes, what the fuck? And it's Ben Simmons. And he's a Brooklyn fan. He was so excited to see Ben play. He saw Ben in his street clothes Ben, and it was an unfortunate circumstance. But in this game, DeMar DeRozan, 21-4 and 33. Patrick Williams, almost a season high, 12-1 and 7 rebounds in 30
About
minutes.
time.
Rob Scott, 7
About
rebounds.
time.
I mean, is that a standard? Should we be used to this? Like, should
Let's
we
not go that
applaud you?
far. Let's
You know
not
what
go
I'm
that
saying,
far.
though? Should we applaud you for just having 7 rebounds? I mean, it's something crazy. Vooch did not have his double-double, only had 7 points, 2 assists, but 15 boards in 32 minutes. Zach LaVine carried the way, 29, 5 and 3 and 37. Ayo is on a tear still, 17, 4 and 3 and 33. Caruso, 4, 4 and 4, had that triple foe for 25. Dragic had 15, 2 and 2 and 19. Jones had 4, 1 and 4 and 16. Javante Green only had 2 rebounds in 15 minutes, but he was a little limited. There was a lot of garbage time, so he didn't really, Pat was playing very well. You want to give Javante a little bit of a break. He's been asked of a lot as of late. But looking at this game, Zach LaVine gets that takeover game that you've been looking for. I mean, we're talking what he was able to do just a few nights ago. 20 points in the fourth quarter, Rob Scott.
Buckets.
Nine points for 3 quarters. And then Zach LaVine was like, all right, fuck
now
this.
It's time.
Let's do it. And then
now it's time.
For you, I want to ask you, is that dog in him that you've been waiting to see for the last 4 or 5 years?
Without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. Like what makes me mad about Zach LaVine is he has those moments where you really question, is this guy a star?
Right.
And then he has moments like what we saw against Brooklyn. 20 points in the fourth quarter, that's not easy to do, okay? We see people that can't score 20 points within a game. This man goes crazy in the fourth quarter. And not to mention, let's talk about the defense that was played on Kyrie, because him, DeSumo, all of them, all of the guards, they were switching it up. I mean, Kyrie was held to 4 points that night. 4 points that night. I don't think he scored his first bucket until it was like 10 minutes left in the fourth.
It was a minute. It was definitely a minute. And getting into that, we do talk about it. I know you guys don't like hearing about it, but we got to talk about the other team as well. Kevin Durant, 32, 6 and 9 in 38 minutes. The man has been playing max minutes because of the lack of Ben Simmons, and Kyrie Irving is late. O'Neal had 23 and 5 and 34. Claxton had 10, 2 and 10 for a double-double in 35. Kyrie Irving, 4, 7 and 6 and 33.
4 of them.
And only 7 assists.
Now, see, that's the Kyrie that showed up in the finals. I mean, in the East Conference Finals. No, I'm sorry. They didn't make it that far. That's the Kyrie that got eliminated in the first round.
Right. I was about to say, I was let this slide, but I was like, you know what?
No. I'm like, hold on, no, that's the Kyrie that got eliminated in the first round.
100%.
I mean, that's a horrible showing. I mean, 4 points, I get it. You're stressing, you're going through things. Some of the stress self-inflicted. Hey, people don't want to admit that, but hey, like I said, when it comes to the whole situation with him, stop being a distraction. That's my problem with Kyrie. Just shut up. Know when to pick your battles.
And I will say this, not to get too deep into it, because I know there's a lot of people that feel a lot of different ways about the Kyrie situation. I think at the end of the day, though, no matter what happened, Kyrie did not physically or even on paper say anything about the movie that he posted. Obviously, everybody knows the situation. He didn't say a word. I felt like personally, the whole thing could have went away if off rip, you would have been like, listen, I didn't know. I apologize. It was an ignorant thing to do, and I should have been better. Instead, you want to argue and cuss out a reporter, and then not only stand by the shit you took, but you want to grace in it. You want to smell in it. You want to be the top-notch recruiter of, you're trying to make me paint out to be this. And I'm like, bro, it's not even like that. It's the fact that you doubled down on some shit you shouldn't have been talking about. And it's like, to me, at the end of the day, again, Rob, we talk about it all the time. Second chances are everything. Like, I hope, rookie star Joshua Primo, I hope he gets a second chance. I hope everybody gets a second chance, because everybody deserves a second opportunity, as long as it's, in the lines of, what happened. But, we look at Kyrie Irving and you're like, bro, why would you double down? Why would you?
He just
You're in
likes
a
to.
situation,
Kyrie just likes to be a rebel, and
100%.
that
But
just
a
that's
rebel
he's
for
always
what
been
cause?
for whatever cause he feels he needs to fight
You
for.
feel me though? But like we're
So
talking about like anti-Semitic shit, and it's like you not that he's standing next to it, but it's like, come on, bro. Like I mean, it's crazy. It's
I
crazy,
think
bro.
sometimes we try too much, and like I tell people all the time, man. I agree the punishment was overkill. I said that from the get go. If you're gonna suspend the man, and then he came out and apologized. Let him come back and do his thing, especially if you're gonna suspend the man with no pay.
Right,
That's sending a large enough message. Not to mention the endorsements that he's losing over
right.
these,
And my guy Zach's in the
over the
comments
retweet.
talking about stuff like this. He says Primo doesn't deserve a second chance if he did the things he did 110%. But I'm just saying the levels of it is, depending on what you did, I believe, guys make mistakes. And posting a movie in this circumstance is one of those things where it's like, okay, if you double down, I'm going to have to kill you for it. But if you just apologized, I feel like so many things would have just went a different way. And Kyrie just always wants to take the long road. Shout out my girl. She's always in the comments, always checking us, always loving Rob Scott. I got to give her some flowers on that one. She's always listening to us bullshit for over an hour. So I got to give her bullshit for over an hour. But
Bullshit on the bullshit, right?
100%. 100%. But I appreciate
But
you.
but yeah, honestly though, you know what I'm saying? What Kyrie needs to do now, just keep his head down and let the
Oh, it's
new
too late now.
news
I
thing.
mean, you
I
lose
know, but
you lose
dude,
how much in
everybody.
Nike.
Let me tell you like this. I trust me. If you keep your head down and you stay quiet and you let the next story come out about the next person, he'll be fine. Right now,
100%.
he's just in the news, and a lot of people say, "Well, why don't they talk about Brett Favre? Why don't?" The thing is, they did talk about Brett Favre. That's why it's called the news. There's always new news to talk about, and right now, that Brett Favre situation is at a standstill until the federal courts take action, which I
100%.
think they should take action because this man blatantly stole from the poorest state in America.
I
You
mean,
guys know how I feel about that if you watch ASAP. So I want to let y'all know something. On the bullshit, me and Mike gonna talk about everything.
right.
So hey, it is what it is. But to get
100%.
back to basketball, Kyrie had a horrible game that game.
Kyrie had a horrible game, and no one else really was there to support him. You look at it for what it is. Joe Harris 8-2-2. You have Watanabe had 10-4 or 10-0-4. Summer had 4-5-1. Duke had 2-2-0. The rest was just Patty Mills 9-1. The rest was just garbage time, to be honest. And this team just was not there. They are not who they thought they were. They are not the roster that they thought they can construct. They thought they could do 3 of the top 15 players in the league and then rock out like that. Didn't work. So they threw in Ben Simmons. Maybe that'll work. Didn't work again. Hire a new head coach. Still not working. I mean, Rob, at what point, and we're going to talk about it. Zach makes a good comment as well. He says, but when you get pushed off the topic over and over, he eventually going to give them the clip they are looking for. No, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And Kyrie, I will give him credit. He was trying to stop it at first, but as a grown man to understand, maybe just own this one. Maybe just own this one. You got to pick and choose your battles, and that wasn't one of them
All
that
the
he was going
time.
to win. You were not going to win that battle. But I do think at the end of the day, you look at the situation with the Nets. Rob Scott, does KD finish the season in a Brooklyn Nets uniform?
Oh, he's gonna finish the season as a net. Now the question is next season is he gonna be a net?
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure now with the whole situation, you know, and he has ammunition now because over the summer he said we should fire Steve Nash.
Mm-hmm.
Either it's Steve Nash or it's me. So you guys wait until a couple games in the season to finally agree with the man and say, okay, well maybe Steve Nash is a problem because he's not doing a great job as the leader of this team. And now KD, he's only really over there because of Kyrie and their friendship.
Right.
With the whole situation with Kyrie, and this is not the first time Kyrie has been a distraction.
Several times
He's
in the
always
span
been a
of
distraction.
1 year. This is the seventh time.
And when I say distraction, I mean you don't ask when KD goes to the media at the end of games, before games, during the week and prep time. He's not asked questions about basketball. He's asked questions about Kyrie, and that's a distraction. And I think KD is a little fed up with it. He sees that it's a lot harder trying to be a leader of your own team rather than how he was able to kind of come and co-pilot the ship at Golden State. And I think he kind of regrets that decision. Now where he goes after this, I don't know. But right now, to me personally, what's been going on is tarnishing Kevin Durant's legacy. It's
100%.
tarnishing his legacy.
100%. You know,
He's
I got
definitely
into
not trending in the upward position.
I was on the Clubhouse network the other night, and it was a lot of fun. We had a blast, and we were talking about our top 5 players all time.
Mhm.
You know I had Curry on there. You know I
Right,
had Curry
you
on there,
know,
but I also had Kevin Durant on there. I said Kevin Durant is a top 5 player of all time to me. I truly
all
believe
time.
that. All
You
time,
talking about all time?
top 5 all time.
So KD's in your top 10?
KD's in my top 10. KD's in my top
Oh well, you
5.
are. You know what? You are younger than me, Mike.
He don't crack my top 3. I'll give you that. He don't crack my top 3. I
Okay,
got him at
he's
5
not in
right
my
now.
top 10.
He in my top 5. I think he's the greatest scorer we've ever seen. But Rob, you kind of pointed out to it. A big part of it is, the relationships that he's built. And at the end of the
The
day, I
leadership.
think the leadership, you look at all of it. I remember Russell, and Russ can say what he wants. You remember Russell's MVP award, and you see the guys behind him, Taj Gibson and a bunch of random motherfuckers. We was like, these aren't your friends. Like, where's KD? You know what I mean? Like, where's everybody you built relationships with over the years? You got current teammates on there, but nobody who was actually a part of that team throughout the years and a part of that work. And KD, for me, you look at it, when KD eventually goes to the Hall of Fame, who's going to make his speech with him? Who's gonna indict him? Who's gonna bring him in outside of his mom? Like there's so many people you could say he built relationships with and then just completely obliterated them. Like it was a construction site. Did not care. Like KD, I mean,
That's a good question.
looking into the summer though,
That's
I'm
a
gonna
good
ask you,
question.
Rob, who's looking at KD?
Let's not get it twisted.
Let's not get it twisted. But
That's
who
still
who do
Kevin
you
Durant.
think? Do you see?
Everybody's looking at
No, definitely. But what I'm trying to say is when you
him.
look at it, would you see an experienced team like Golden State get back after it? Or do you think an
Oh,
organization would trust a team full of rookies?
you know what? I Kevin. So Steph Curry has come out and said he wouldn't mind playing with KD again,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't be surprised if Golden State goes and make an offer, bring some form of nostalgia. Remember the good times, KD. Remember when you was with us, you were a winner. You remember how much we loved you. You remember you came in and we gave you the keys to the Cadillac. We gave you the keys, brother. We said, hey, Steph said, I'll get in passenger. It don't
100%.
get no better than that when your number 2 is the greatest shooter of all time.
100%. 100%. I mean, and you're the greatest scorer of all time. Like it's insane. It's insane. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna fly through a couple of these, Rob. We're gonna fly through a
Let's
couple of
fly through
these.
because we've missed a lot of
We've
games.
missed a lot. We're not going to
We
get
missed a lot of
into
games.
it, but Rob did talk about it. The Bulls beat the Hornets 106-88, but Zach LaVine only has 10 points in this game. That is the inconsistencies we've been talking about. Obviously, baby and the knee injury, there's a lot of factors that go into that. But Rob, going into it, looking at it, wish we could have seen it. I think I was the last person to see it in person because of the thing with COVID happened after they didn't see their second matchup. But last season, I was at the game right before COVID hit for the Chicago Bulls, LaMelo versus Lonzo. I mean, it was a beautiful sight to see. This year, we didn't get to see it because obviously Lonzo's still out. But for
And
you,
LaMelo was out.
and LaMelo was out. And that was a big part of it. The Ball brothers are out, and we all know where Jello's at. So, I mean, it's something for you right now. You beat a team that you should have, but you didn't dominate the way you should have. You don't got
No.
guys like LaMelo out there. Zach LaVine needs to give us more. And I think that's one of the biggest conversations right now.
And you know what? Zach needed to give us more, and DeMar. DeMar, he scored 9 points that game, I believe.
It's something right now, Rob. You look at it and you understand, it's very early on. It's very early on, so I'm not going to put too much stock into anything. I'm not going to be like, yo, this isn't it. This isn't it. But you look at it. Patrick Williams, 16, 1-5 and 33. All right, I'll take it. Pat had his night. He was the second scorer in the whole game. He's 17 points by Javonte Green, though, in 27 minutes. That was a big one. 17, 1-8. You look at DeMar had 9, 5, and 4, or 9, 5, and 8, pardon me. Vooch had a double-double, 14, 3, and 13. Zach LaVine, 10, 6, and 4. Ayo Dosunmu, 8, 3, and 4. I mean, it just wasn't everybody's night. It was not everybody's night. And you look at the other side of things, the highest scorer was Kelly Oubre with 24 points. McDaniels had 11. Plumlee had 11, and that was really it for the Charlotte Hornets. But
hey, Oubre's been playing.
Kelly Oubre has been playing out of his mind. the situation with Miles Bridges, obviously, I feel like definitely contributes to that as well, just because, now Kelly's getting more touches with LaMelo out. It's such a huge thing. But right now, you look at it, have been very inconsistent all year. And the one guy I will say that has been one of the most inconsistent guys on the team is Vooch. And I love Vooch, and I think Vooch is great for what he does. He just got fined $15,000 for a little something something, and we're gonna get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, I actually went to go see the video and it was hilarious.
Well, we got to start a little GoFundMe for Vooch, but seeing it live was insane. I was literally watching it and I was like, ain't no way, ain't no way. But flying through it, the Celtics beat the Bulls 123 to 119. And I'll tell you what, this game normally, like I told you before, would not piss me off. It would not piss me off. The Celtics are a respectable team. The Celtics are fire. They just went to the finals a year ago. Everything's perfectly fine. But the fact that we kept it so close, and the big reason to why we didn't win this game was just because guys cannot show out. DeMar DeRozan, 46, 5,
46.
46.
That boy go.
I mean, DeMar was doing his thing, the MVP, the chosen one, doing his thing yet again.
Hold on. Here's a little gem for you too. The man scored 46 and he was 0-3 from the 3-point line. So he didn't hit any threes to get that 46. It just shows you how much of a
could have had that 50 ball. Could have had that 50 ball.
Hey, it just shows you how much of a bucket the chosen is.
I mean, he's an absolute stud, and he gets his fouls. He does his thing from the mid range. I mean, you don't see that anymore. You don't. And I'm gonna say, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. I'd never say that, Rob, because I know how near and dear the '90s hold to you. But if you want a replication of a Kobe or a Michael Jordan from the mid range, it's DeMar DeRozan. I mean, DeMar is killing it. And
without a shot of a doubt. I mean, I told my boy the other day, I said, if this was 2K, his mid range is on 99.
100%.
The man is a automatic bucket from 17 feet and under.
100%. And then you look at the rest of the team. Vooch 24-3-12 carried it. Ayo Dosunmu 11-3-3. Patrick Williams 7-1-5. The rest of the team did not do much. I mean, Javante had 5 points. Dragic had 5 points. Caruso had 5 points. It just was not the Bulls' night. From the Celtics perspective, Jason Tatum was hooping too. Double-double, 36, 6 and 12. Jaylen Brown 16, 2 and 5. Horford 11, 5 and 5. Malcolm Brogdon doing his thing. 25, 4 and 2 is really the dagger that killed the Bulls. But you look at that, Rob, and you go, man, if we could just have the consistencies. Like Drummond did not play in this game. He's been out for a little bit. It's definitely something right now a lot of people are looking at. For you, what do we need to do to get over that hump? Because we're always right there. As Justin Fields would say, I'm tired of being right there.
Well, you know what? You look at the Bulls in this game, they got off to a slow start. They've been doing that a lot this season, trying to come back in the second half of games. Let's punch them in the mouth from the get-go, and let's stop trying to play catch-up. Another thing, too, we're just getting pounded on the inside. Now, I mentioned our last show, we just saw Dwight Howard on Club Shay Shay mentioning that he felt he should have been a top 75 player, and he's shocked that he doesn't have a job right now.
As he should.
Bulls, you're hurting right now in the interior. Is that not a guy that you think maybe we can talk to him about taking a veterans minimum and bringing him in?
Right.
I mean, especially if Drummond's going to be in and out of the lineup, and Drummond's okay. I'm not going to sit up here and say Drummond's a world breaker.
Right.
If I have a chance right now to go get Dwight Howard, why am I not exploring that option?
I also think I'm a big jersey guy. I know it's a little irrelevant to the conversation, but if there's a Hall of Famer on the Chicago Bulls, I'm grabbing their jersey. I'll tell you what, when the Bulls traded for Carmelo Anthony, I was ready. I had it locked in. I was like, we got it. We're here. We hadn't had a jersey to be proud of in how long, Rob? It was forever.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Zach and Lori, and that was it. And I was like, man, we're here. I'm about to get a Carmelo Anthony jersey. Cut his ass. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? What are we doing?
But Carmelo came like 4 or 5 seasons too late.
100%. And that's on Carmelo. That's on Carmelo 110%. But getting right back into it, discussing it, we're going to break both of these games down as a whole just because same team, baby. Rob Scott talked about, we talked about this last week. We did believe it was going to be 1-1. It was going to be a great week. The Bulls got beat by the Raptors in the first meetup, 113 to 104. The Bulls come back in the second game, 111 to 97. Rob, for you, big two differences between game one and two. What are they?
Honestly, it was Vucevic to me. Vucevic was out there getting buckets to me. I mean, we know that he's been inconsistent at best, but sometimes Vucevic shows that he is a monster. And I'm talking about, man, the man get him from the three. Like we see the game that he go crazy in. What Vucevic gives you 7 of 14, 15 points, 13 rebounds. I mean, this is exactly what we need for him. And then not to mention Zach LaVine, he said, okay, DeMar, you only gonna give me 9? I'll give you 30 of them. I'll give you
Mhm.
30 of them, and I'll hold it down for us. Vucevic and Zach LaVine stepping up. To me, that was honestly the difference. And of course, as I mentioned with Vucevic, Pat Williams actually playing interior defense and
Mhm.
helping us out because in the game we lost against Toronto, again, Scotty Barnes and those boys beat us up in the interior. And these are games you're supposed to win, especially if Toronto's not going to have Siakam.
Without a doubt. And you look at it, I think understanding how good this team could potentially be interiorly, it's something, if we just bring in another body and get Lonzo in, I mean, I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm shaking if I see Dwight Howard and Lonzo Ball. You got Patrick Williams and Vooch. You can go big if you want to go big. You really could. You really could. And you and I talked about it. If we had to go big, let's say last couple minutes of the game, right? Last 10 seconds, Giannis got the ball. I'm putting in Drummond, Dwight, and Vooch, and we run it, and that's what we're doing, and because we can, and that's the beauty of it. But if we can't expect a Drummond night in and night out. It's like, why did we bring you here, bro? If
Yeah,
you're already banged up, and it's perfectly fine to miss a couple games here and there, but it's definitely a conversation. You look at it for what it is, and you're like, why are we putting so much stock into somebody who's not putting in as much stock as us? And I think that's how I felt last year about Tristan Thompson. Not saying Dwight or Drummond, but it's Tristan Thompson last season where I was like, yo, this is not it. Like, this guy
yeah.
does not care about hoops. But right now,
No,
you could see Drummond cares, and I
yeah,
I
Drummond
know
wants to play. I just feel like right now we're so guard heavy,
right. He needs
and
help.
and and we're starting to see now that we might need to go look at a big man or two. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think who we got now. What's the boy name? Green.
Marco
Yeah,
Simonovic.
yeah. Let's see. Maybe we put the rookie in to see what he can do. But
Hey, I'll tell you
just from
what, we
what I've
got we got
seen right
somebody
now,
in the Windy City G League officiate too. We got Kostas Antetokounmpo still rocking around in the Windy City Bulls uniform. So we definitely got that available. Got a lot of big bodies that we could rock with. But first game, Bulls lose 20 from DeMar, 13 from Pat. 18 and 12 from Vooch. Io had 15. Caruso had 4. A big factor to it. Why did we lose this game, Rob Scott, versus game 2? Zach LaVine does not play game 1. And
that's
that's one
true.
of the biggest issues. That is one of the
That's
biggest
true.
issues. Zach comes back for game 2, and I mean, it's like we don't even miss a beat. It's something, we need to understand right now that the Bulls are dogs when we are healthy. We come back, OG Anunoby, you got Scotty Barnes, you got all these guys. They ain't ready for it. Zach LaVine comes back and gives you a 30 piece. I mean, we talked about it. Io has 20. I mean, Io has 12. DeRozan only had 9 points against his former team. 9 points.
Yeah.
And Zach said, "It's cool, bro. Hold my beer. I was just sitting down last game, anyways. I'm fresh."
He said I
Right
got
now,
30
though,
for you.
exactly. But right now, Rob, how concerned are you that we're babying this knee as much as we are? And when do you expect it to fully get better? If it's just the inconsistencies of being in lineups, is it the Kawhi treatment?
No, I think right now the Bulls are just playing it safe. And I kind of agree. Right now, it's early in the season. Even though the Bulls are not at 500, I believe what they're six in the seventh actually in the Eastern Conference. So it's still early. I see Milwaukee and Cleveland continue to be consistent, and Boston. I don't see Atlanta continue to be inconsistent, especially Toronto or Washington. I believe the Bulls can be the fourth best team in this conference, which I called that before the season started, by the way.
You did.
I knew Philadelphia wasn't going to be on anything. Just don't trust James Harden. And Joel Embiid, I really question his motor. So I think the Bulls, they got everybody right where they want them. Let's be careful with Zach's knee because the last thing we need is to lose Zach and Lonzo.
100%. And if that happens, honestly, Dalen Terry better be the second coming of Jimmy Butler, because it's going to be looking very bleak for us at the shooting guard position. But you look forward into the next game. You know I'm excited about it. Me and you were texting about it earlier. I mean, let's talk about it. It was some fucking bullshit. I mean, my guy Vooch gets fined
Hey.
$15,000. $15,000. We're starting to GoFundMe for Vooch. I mean,
Come on now, donate today.
donate today because my
But you know
guy,
what? That was a BS call, and you hearing that from the bullshit right now.
it
That man
was.
had Alvarez on him, man. He had little itty bitty Alvarez on him, and he was calling for the ball. DeMar tried to hit him the first time. They got him the ball. He faced Alvarez up. The only problem I got with that Vucevic, why is you facing up Alvarez? Back his little ass down to the
100%.
paint.
100%. But I do want to talk to you about this. It pissed me off. Gamer of the night,
Yeah,
player of the game,
yeah.
Brandon Ingram.
Oh,
Mm-mm. To
the new
me,
KD that the Lakers regret letting go.
oh, 100%. But I'll tell you what, I don't think he should have won player of the game. I really don't.
Who
I
should have
looked at
won it?
Valanciunas. Valanciunas had 21, 3, and 13 and 30,
Yeah,
giving Vooch the business all night long.
yeah,
Valanciunas is an all-star without a
yeah.
shadow of a doubt. I mean, right now I'm looking at it. Rob, you talk about Brandon Ingram. Well, let's talk about Steven Adams in a Memphis Grizzly uniform when Valanciunas is out here. Valanciunas and Ja could have been nice. I do
Yeah,
think, the pick and roll is a little bit better with Steven. Steven's my favorite big man in the league, and you already know how I feel about that. But man, Valanciunas right now is really taking over in his role. He's thriving. Obviously, Brandon Ingram had a great game. We're going to go through the stats really quick, and then we'll get into the Vooch situation. And DeMar, we know we love DeMar on this show. We ain't going to kill DeMar. But man, you saw the end of the game, didn't you, Rob?
yes, I did. Right off the knee.
Right off the knee.
I said, "Come on, bro. If you gonna call for the ball and the game is on the line, I'm gonna need you to at least catch the ball, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Catch
And
the ball, bro." And that was just a complete lapse of concentration.
now, I think a big part of that as well, a part that bothers me is it's okay that you're giving the ball to DeMar, but that's a key Lonzo moment. That is a moment where we need Lonzo Ball in the game to facilitate the floor, to do his thing. And right now, like my big question is what this Bulls team looks like when Lonzo gets back. Because what we
Mm,
haven't talked about, we've never really even discussed it. The
yeah,
way DeMar transformed from the first half of the season with the Bulls to the second,
yeah.
becoming kind of this point forward, it's been a beautiful thing. But how does that look when Lonzo Ball gets back? How does that look with guys like Io and Caruso and Dragic? I think it's going to be a very different version of DeMar going forward. And this was one of those games where I didn't want to see DeMar have the ball in the top of the key. I wanted to see it. Okay, let's get in Zach. Let's get in Caruso. Let's get in Io or Dragic. Let's run a play through a point guard like we're typically used to. And right now I'm looking at DeMar DeRozan and I'm like, obviously top 10 player in the league right now, without a shadow of a doubt. But how does that change and how does that alternate once it moves forward to, okay, Lonzo Ball is back. You are the second option, rotating with Zach. What's going to happen? Not third, second option, but obviously, Lonzo carries the ball. Then we go through that. But, right now, I think we're going to have to look at it and understand, like, what point do you think we see Alonzo Ball rejoining the Chicago Bulls? And do you think the offense changes?
I don't see Lonzo getting back until after Christmas.
Mm,
I think they're gonna give him that time.
which is true.
Honestly, I'm a little nervous. I'm thinking they might even push it to after the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is because you're gonna need somebody like Lonzo, especially not just for the second half of the season, but for a playoff run. And you're right. I love the evolution that DeMar has shown in becoming this sort of point forward and trying to be the playmaker of this team by not only getting himself buckets, but allowing other people to get buckets. But when Lonzo gets back, this offense is going to change drastically because DeMar is going to be able to go back into his natural position of just being a scorer. He's not going to have to worry about everybody else. We're going to have DeMar out there getting buckets, and we're going to have Lonzo putting guys in place. And then we're going to also have our natural rotation of things where you put DeSumo back in his natural
Mm-hmm.
position, Caruso back in his natural position. And that's what the Bulls need right now. I think right now we have not had a consistent go with our starting five. And I want to see even how Pat Williams is going to look once Lonzo Ball is back. Having a point guard and having a great playmaker take so much pressure off everybody else on the court, and it's gonna allow Levine and DeRozan to get back to being scorers. And I can't wait for Lonzo to get back. Hopefully, he comes back healthy. Let's not push him until he's ready.
Without a doubt, I completely agree. Now, before we get out of here, we flew through today. Only a 40 plus minute episode. But you know what? Sometimes we don't got to be talking about the same bullshit. Y'all don't want to hear us. And we said it backstage. Sometimes I feel like, man, this is just an I Hate Patrick Williams podcast, but it's not.
You know what? Pat hasn't been that bad, but I will say, I'm gonna be watching Pat going forward. Like in the next 20 games or so, if I don't see any change, I'm gonna be calling for either JaMychal Green or Javonte Green. I'm gonna be calling for this guy to get in the rotation in the starting lineup. Because 100%. Patrick Williams, hey, if you're not gonna play big, I don't want to give you all these minutes, and it is what it is.
Without a doubt. And I think, that's the conversation right now. We were a lot chiller. We saw the comments. We saw what y'all were saying. I understand.
Hey, Malik, appreciate that, man. We trying, baby.
100%. But we definitely going to be out there. We're definitely going to be checking out Pat and seeing what he's doing. This week was a good week for Pat. I think he did a lot of great things. He really got after the ball. He really did his thing from a defensive and offensive rebounding perspective. I loved what we saw. But the big thing is consistency. If you're not consistent, you don't have a role in this rotation. You don't have a role in the starting lineup. Javonte Green is always consistent for the most part. He does his job. He's not going to give you 30 plus points or 20 plus points, but he's going to be consistent in what he's doing. He's going to be electrifying. He's going to be a showstopper. He's going to be a skywalker, dunking out of his shoes. I mean, you love to see it. He's electrifying. Pat.
Well, I got 3 announcements before we get up out of here.
You definitely do.
So first of all, I just celebrated 2 years of Rob's 2 cents. So
yes, sir, baby.
And because of me starting this journey, I get to meet that beautiful face and Mike Hughes and look at the partnership that we formed, man. Can't wait till we celebrate year 1 of Bullsheet. My second announcement for all my Chicago people. If you know the legend of Benjamin Wilson, aka Benji, he's gonna be getting, they're gonna be celebrating his street sign dedication, baby. The man is gonna be getting the street sign, man, Sunday, November 20th, and also celebrating November 21st on that Monday at 1 p.m., man. Number 25, if everybody know, the great number he was, Simeon. My boy B Hall posted. If you guys don't know, my boy Brandon Hall, he played with D Rose and them at Simeon, man. So it's gonna be big for the Chicago legends out here. A Chicago legend like Benji getting his name honored in these streets, man. So shout out to all the people at Simeon, man, and shout out to Chicago, man, for recognizing the real one, for real. And of course, happy Veterans Day to all our veterans out there, man, for everybody that's fighting for our liberties, our freedoms, that give us the right to be able to come in front of this camera and give you the bullshit, man. We appreciate you guys. We thank you for your service, and just know that you're not in the fight alone. We got y'all back, baby. We need better treatment for our troops, for sure.
110%. We got veterans out here. Happy Veterans Day, everybody involved. Whether you have family or whether it's you yourself who served personally, I think myself, I think of a lot of my friends I had growing up, they celebrate Veterans Day too. Even if you're not a veteran, if you have a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, if they are in the service, it's your day too, because it's a lot of people that don't get to see their families when they go home. But also, speaking on Ben Wilson, shout out Ben Wilson. I mean, there's so many kids, though, we could put on signs in Chicago that didn't get a chance to show they were great. And the fact that they're giving recognition to Ben Wilson is an amazing thing, because normally you don't see things like that in the Chi. It's well overdue. People don't realize how long Ben's been gone, God rest his soul. But it's been a very long time that a young man got his life taken away over some crazy stuff, man. And it's just the reality that they live in. And it's something, we need to be more conscious of when you look at these kids coming up and, the situations that they come from. But, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great tribute. I'm going to try to pop out. Got my niece's second birthday, same day. So we'll see what happens. But I'll be there in spirit. But upcoming games, Rob Scott. It's going to be a very bleak week. We have the Denver Nuggets on Sunday,
Lord Jesus.
November 13th against the Joker. Then we go back at it with Zion on Wednesday. The Magic on Friday. A little chill day. And then Monday.
We can't say that the Magic been playing this year. My boy Paulo.
We got the week.
Or like I like to call him Payola.
Without a doubt. We got the week of bigs. We got Zion and Valanciunas and Ingram. We got a big three there. I mean, literally big three. They are huge.
Yeah.
Then you got obviously Paolo, who's putting up numbers that we haven't seen being put up since Dwight Howard in an Orlando Magic jersey. Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy that we're having that conversation, but it's a reality. It's real.
Hey, it's the
He's
reality
doing it.
is the East is beast,
He's
and the
doing it.
Bulls gonna have to be on their best behavior.
And obviously, we have the back-to-back MVP on Sunday with Nikola Jokic. Rob Scott, next 3 games, baby. How you see? And you know what? We'll throw in Monday too, because I know we're going live. Excuse me. I know we're going live Tuesdays. How do you feel?
Fridays.
Fridays. Pardon me.
Fridays.
Fridays.
So yeah, that's our other announcement. Bullshit Friday. I'm sorry, y'all. My job has changed my schedule, and I know we like to go during the days. But if we're gonna do evening shows, we can go wherever we want to go.
We can go
We
whenever.
control this. We control this, Mike Hughes. This our show, baby.
100%. 100%. Last couple games we got before next Friday. Obviously, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Boston Celtics, and the Milwaukee Bucks. It's gonna be a long week, Rob Scott. How you see the Bulls looking out? I'll give you one more time.
How many games was that? How many games was that?
We got Nuggets, Pelicans, Magic, Celtics, Bucks, Thunder. That's 6 games. I'm gonna say 3-3.
I'm sorry, Bulls. I'm gonna say 2-4.
Ooh. You know
I
what?
think we can.
Just because of that, Rob, 5-1.
I think we can beat the Pelicans.
Right.
I think we can beat the Magic. The Thunder are going to be tough. Did you just see what Shea Gilgeous-Alexander? And you know he has deserved. I said this on the morning show this morning on ASAP in the morning. When you've been balling out, you deserve for your name to be an acronym. We don't call him Shea Gilgeous-Alexander anymore. That's SGA. That's SGA.
I would also like to point out,
on their
though,
tater top.
I don't think I could say his full name, so I think that's why I call him SGA. I just don't know. I just can't. I just can't. But Rob, I agree with you. I'm gonna say 3-3, just because there's always one game DeMar comes out and he just puts on a show. So I'll give him 3-3.
You know what? It could be 3-3 because they could beat Denver one of them games.
I think we definitely could, and I'll tell you what I think too. I'm gonna come out of left field with it. I think we beat Denver. I think we beat the Pelicans. I think we lose to the Magic. We lose to the Celtics. We lose to the Bucks, and then we beat the Thunder. And I think that's our 3-3.
Now, the question for the Bucks is Giannis going to be in that game? Because Giannis and Drew Holiday have been out for the last couple of games.
But I think, we're looking at that for that perspective. That's going to be a Wednesday. So I think that gives them a lot of time to really get back at it. The bigger question, Chris Middleton, what's going on?
You know what? I think Chris Middleton is another one of those guys that'll be back after the All-Star break, because what you can do with Giannis, well, right now, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We know in the 90s we were in the Jordan era. In the early 2000s we were in the Kobe era.
Please,
2011 to about 2019 we were in the LeBron/Steph era. Now we're in the Giannis era. And I want you guys to know something right now. Giannis, without a shot of a doubt, he's the best player in the NBA. And I am scared of Giannis right now. Giannis is on a different level.
I'll tell you
right
what,
now,
though.
to me, Milwaukee is my favorite to win it all.
I'll tell you what, though.
I'm riding with the Warriors, but I think Milwaukee gonna win it all.
I'll tell you what, though, Rob Scott. Them Utah Jazz. Nah, I'm playing.
Hey, they might be Vanilla Ice, man. One hit wonder.
It's insane, bro. It's insane to see them hooping. And you know what? It pisses me off when I see those black and yellow jerseys because they look awful. They look awful. I'm like, this is the best, worst looking team I've ever seen in my life. But
why is it that when we let go of players that they do good?
No, 100%. But a big part of that, I just feel like, is development. The Lakers have the same situation too. Is you just let guys go way too early. I will tell you this. And I always stood by it. I always stood by it. Lauri Markkanen is a top 20 player when he's on rebuilding teams. When he's on a rebuilding team and he's the number one scoring option, he's a hooper. When you put him on a championship caliber team, that man cannot hoop to save his life because he can't figure out his role. But that's real. If you put Lauri, I mean, let's talk about last year. You had Darius Garland, you had Evan Mobley, you had Jared Allen, you had Ricky Rubio for a little bit. And Lauri was lost. Lauri got lost. He had a decent year, but he had no different than any year he's had before. He was lost in the sauce. Compared to right now, okay, cool. It's me and Jordan, and that's it. And
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it. Laurie Markkinen, if you remember, before Zach LaVine came back from his ACL injury, Laurie Markkinen was the dude. Like he was the Jimmy Butler trade. Zach LaVine was just a nice piece we got with it. It ended up
yeah.
being that Zach turned out better than Laurie. But let's be real. Let's not be naive. Laurie in his rookie season with the buzz cut. I mean, buzz cut Laurie. That was Laurie. Slim Jesus, that was Laurie. I mean, Laurie was hooping out of his mind that season. But Rob, before we get out of here, baby, one last
Yeah,
time, giving it up to
yeah.
Mo's Plumbing Services, giving it up to Benchmark
Appreciate
Chicago
you, Mo. Appreciate you,
and the
Bench Mob.
All Sports All Plays Network. We appreciate you guys tuning in. You can always check out the All Sports All Plays Network on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, any streaming service possible. Roku TV? Question mark.
Roku. I
So
think
many
they Android TV, Apple TV, Lord Jesus, we
everything.
everywhere.
I mean, we just be a little bit everywhere. But with that being said, this is Mike Hughes from Mike on the Mic, sitting next to Rob Scott of Rob's 2 Cents. You can follow us on all streaming platforms as well at Rob's 2 Cents. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Same with Mike on the Mic or Cubs.Mike on TikTok. Definitely show us some love out there. We will be back next Friday evening, probably 6 p.m. Central again. I'm
Yeah.
kind of rocking with the 6 p.m. Kind of rocking with it.
Hey, I like it. You know. Look, you got the move set, we got the drink going, and we gonna talk a good talk, baby.
Without a doubt. With that being said, this is Rob Scott and Mike Hughes from the All Sports All Plays Network. You are listening to
Yes, sir.
Bullshit. Peace.